I have already talked about having both a hunger and an appetite for excellence. And this week we're going to look at how pressure enables us to be people of excellence, people who break barriers, people who do wonderful things for God. And we're going to start from Proverbs chapter 27 and verse number 7. Proverbs chapter 27, verse number 7. And it says, "A satisfied soul loathes the honeycomb, but to a hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet." A satisfied soul loathes or hates the honeycomb, but to a hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. The honeycomb is naturally sweet. It is the core of honey, and so it is naturally sweet, sweeter actually more than the honey itself. Bitterness is not sweet, and many of you can think of bitter things you have eaten or tasted in your life. Sometimes it could be a fruit that you thought was going to be sweet, and it wasn't sweet. It could be an unripe fruit, an unripe pineapple, an unripe mango, an unripe lemon. Lemon itself is not sweet, but if it's unripe, it's worse. But contrast that with a honeycomb. A honeycomb is sweet, it's something you should love, and a bitter thing should be something you should hate. But the passage here says that to the soul that is satisfied, the honeycomb is hated. It should love the honeycomb, but it doesn't love it. Honeycomb is hated. And to the soul that is hungry, the thing that is bitter becomes sweet to it. It's like being offered to choose between a sweet ripe pineapple and an unripe pineapple. And our natural instinct will be to go for the sweet pineapple and not the unripe bitter pineapple. But the passage says the opposite happens based on whether you are a satisfied soul or a hungry person. So I will just summarize the proverb with two sentences. One is that self-satisfaction makes us see what is easy as hard. When a person is satisfied or self-satisfied, they hate the sweet thing. They hate the easy thing. They hate things that are good for them because of self-satisfaction. But when a person is hungry, they see what is hard as easy. They eat what is bitter and consider it sweet. So it just means that the state of a person's appetite would make them determine what is sweet and what is bitter, what they will embrace and what they will reject, what they want to do and what they would not want to do. When a person is hungry for something, even when it is hard and it is difficult, they are able to do it almost as if it is very easy. In the book of Genesis chapter 29, the story is told about Jacob when he's going to marry, and most of you are familiar with the story. He's told to work for 7 years for his wife, and he thinks the wife is Rachel, and he works for 7 years, and instead of Rachel, he gets Leah. And the father gives him a long rounded story about giving the older daughter in marriage first. So he says, well, if you still want Rachel, then work another 7 years for Rachel. Now you have to understand that Jacob is madly in love with Rachel. And look at how the Bible describes how Jacob worked. In Genesis 29, verse 18 to 20, it says, "Now Jacob loved Rachel. So he said, I will serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Stay with me." Now verse 20, very interesting. Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed only a few days to him because of the love he had for her. 7 years seemed like a few days. Now if you saw Jacob and you said, this guy is suffering, this guy is going through difficulty, it is hard, oh, what kind of mistreatment is that? Look at what his father-in-law has done. But Jacob was sinking his way through 7 years. It was easy for him, not because the work was easy, but because of the hunger of his soul. He wanted that girl real bad. And he served 7 years and never complained. So what does that tell you? That when you love something and you're doing it with passion, you don't complain about it. Because you have a hunger for it, you have a desire for it, you have intensity for it, and you do it as if it's nothing. But when you are doing something that you don't like and you feel bad about, then even a few days become 7 years. So really, what changes the way we approach our work is not the work itself, it's how we feel about the work. And that gives us an idea of what we can do to become excellent people. To become excellent people, we're definitely going to be working. But what will influence